4:25, special meeting for July 19th. Roll call, please.
Chairman Meyer,
Here.
Commissioner Fiorito,
Here.
Commissioner Hoffman.
Here.
The approval of minutes, I read them over, don't find anything that was incorrect. Chairman Hoffman?
Fine by me.
Looks good.
Joe? Looks good. Motion to approve as submitted.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Number 4, closed session. I don't believe we have any reason to go into closed session, Chief.
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. Then under old business, I will turn it over to you.
Very good. We're going to discuss the upcoming sergeant's examination. You know, unlike the list for patrol officers for hiring, we don't have, I mean, we're not under a real, like, strict timeline because we don't have a position open right now.
No. Okay.
However, we do anticipate that there's positions that will be open over the course of the next 2 years. So we'd like to move forward on it. Moreover, the position of corporal does come from the standing sergeant's list. So the deputy chief has actually put together a timeline that we'd like to share with everyone. And we are looking at, putting out notification here on July 10th. Actually, I'll turn it over to the deputy chief and he can address this.
Yeah, I had just pretty much took the same, roughly the same time frame as it was 3 years ago. We posted, it would be posted around the 24th, application on the 1st, and then written test on the 7th, and then working on our way down. I put these together, but then I realized, I thought the list expired December 29th, or at the end of the December. I looked at our list, it expires January 28th, so we have at least until January 29th. So I don't know if we want to extend these out, extend these dates out another month, or leave it, since if we did do it and ended around the end of December, we wouldn't be able to post it until January 29th is when the list expires. So I don't know if we want to keep it the same or
Or keep it the
Extend it
same, the last thing we're doing, we're still 10 days in front of the holiday, so
what's that?
I said I'd leave it at the same.
Okay, just leave it, and then,
Right.
We'd end up
Yeah,
at the end of
'cause otherwise-
December, and then we'd post it the end of January, because that's when our list expires.
Okay.
I thought it was December. So that would.
No, I think that's fine.
That way we don't have to be rushed, and then if we need to, we got a little play at that there at the end if something comes up or something.
And then I put on here oral interviews, it was roughly around I put October 21st. I know it's, may change when it gets closer because of your schedules. That's just roughly around the time frame it was 3 years ago. So could tend to leave it like that. Gets closer, obviously, we
I
can
think
move
it's
it,
I think
may give us
I
the
think
extra
Yeah, I think
leeway.
it seems fine.
How many would you anticipate?
Yeah, that was my next.
Probably 10 we just talked about. There's
Really?
probably about 10 eligible,
Oh,
so
so it's a lot
they'd
less.
have at least 3 years on and off probation. So there's probably about 10 guys.
Well, when you say eligible, that's one thing. I mean, do you anticipate them? Can you guys have got a, yeah, okay.
I think all 10 will probably.
Yeah, okay.
Will definitely take it. 'Cause right now we have we have 3 guys acting as officers in charge, so they're not even on the sergeant list. They're newer guys that aren't even corporals. And we have them, when the sergeants are off, they're the OICs, so, they would actually get promoted to corporals if they do well on the test. So right now, there's at least those 3, and then the current guys that are on the list. There's probably, 3 or 4 that are on our list that,
That are going to be competing with the newer officer that were unable to participate 3 years ago. So again, a lot of the officers that we hired that, it doesn't seem that we hired that long ago are now eligible for sergeant's testing.
Time flies.
Yep.
yeah.
Is the timeline okay with everybody?
Sounds
I think it sounds
Time's
fine.
I'm not sure on October 7th if I'll be available, but I will be available on the 21st. And I don't see any other dates that we
Well, the 21st is the more important one.
Yeah, the 7th would be, we would administer the test from the company. We would do it ourselves, kind of like we do for the officers, the recruits. You know, we get the test from the company, we would do it ourselves. So, I mean, if you guys want, if you're available to be there, if
We'd love
not,
for you to be there.
and if you can't, then, you know, we just do it like we do the other one. You know, the chief and I were looking at, you know, the same company did it 3 years ago. And then there's some other, you didn't talk about any other options, or?
We did, there's some other companies out there that put a little different spin on things and make it a little bit more interactive. And, you know, I don't know if we need to go that route right now, but we were just looking to see how other departments do it.
Are you referring to the oral part or the written part,
No,
or
we're
both?
talking about the actual testing part.
The written test?
Written test,
Okay.
Well, if I remember right, the last one was not a pushover.
right.
And there was a lot of discussion from the candidates going, that it was not that easy of a test.
Yeah, it consists of, there's 3 textbooks they have to read. The Illinois statutes, there's like about 3 pages of the more common ones that they would deal with. And then there's our Lexipol, our policy manual, and then employee manual. And they take so many questions from each, and they'll be told roughly how many. And you guys probably know if it was,
And then some departments after they go through the written test, the ones that actually pass are eligible to participate in what they call like an assessment center, where they put up mock exercises and things like that. But actually, I'm fairly comfortable with what we did before. I am comfortable with what we did before. I think it did the job before, and I think that we should stay with it moving forward.
What about our oral questions? The recruit questions, I'm starting to remember them, they're in my back pocket, but
Yeah, I
the
don't, yeah,
sergeant's ones, I'm
we
trying
should
to,
probably
I know we
go more,
tried to
right.
get a little bit more involved, and obviously the questions are different types of questions, but are we going to use the same ones?
I think that we should change the questions.
Okay. And
And we'll look at the ones that we had before,
have some,
and then we'll,
have some time between now and October
I
to
think that we can do that.
do our
during
collective
our
input?
meetings.
Okay, all right.
you could maybe do some, like, little scenario-based, you know, I don't know what the other ones were like from the last one, I wasn't there, but if there's some maybe scenario-based that situations that they might encounter, how, you know, that might be some of the questions.
Definitely some real-life stuff.
Yeah, we would be happy to put some recommendations forward and then present them to you at another meeting in the future.
We got some time.
Well, yeah, but it's August, we only have 2 months between now and October 21st. That's hard to believe. That's downright scary. Golf season's over October 21st.
I already got the tuition bill for next year. I know.
Okay. Anything else, chief?
Does the department know about this coming up? Are there
We,
a little bit of buzz?
there's anticipation. Also some fear.
I can imagine, I know, yeah,
Um,
I can get some of that.
And so, we have some officers that are already like looking for study material to be ahead of the game. And, which we've been encouraging them to do, and they just want to make sure that the source material that we're gonna use was the same source material as the last time, which for the most part it is, except for the fact that it has to be, like, anybody who has a child that goes to college right now, you know, last year's textbook,
Right. The up
not
the
the same
edition.
edition as this year's textbook.
Yeah.
So we have to update the editions, even though a lot of the information might be somewhat similar, but some things will
Right.
always change.
Which I just got that list from the company the other day. He sent me over a list of the newer version of the text that he would take the questions out of, so I just got that the other day from him, so be ready to, you know, by Monday, or I could do it this week, I'll put it out for the guys, the dates and the reading materials, so they can get started.
Who are our existing corporals right now? Not OICs, but corporals.
Bill Seworth,
So we're on the street, and then we have Duran and Caponegro, but they're investigations. But the only street guy is,
The only street guy
Sewer.
is Bill, okay.
so we've had 3,
But investigators, they're also corporals, but they're not on this, or they're just getting the corporal stipend?
They were, there's a stipend for corporal, there's specialty paid for investigations, it's the same amount as, there's a technical difference between stipends and specialty pay. Stipends are pensionable, specialty pay isn't. However, the way we look at the position of investigator for the most part is that we should be able to pull them out, and if we need to have a supervisor in the street, we expect either Bill Caponegro or Jesus Duran to act as supervisors if we need them.
Okay.
Would we see quite a few corporals being promoted? Is there openings
Well,
for that?
what you would see is the people that are now acting in charge or officers in charge, they get paid like, what, $2.50 extra an hour, I think.
it's $1.50 an hour when they're in charge.
They would go to they would actually be appointed to a corporal slot until there's an opening for
The
a
sergeant slot.
sergeant. You know, we'd have the ability to appoint somebody to the corporal position, and they can act in that role. And we'd have 3 openings so immediate.
So we
There's
picked,
some angst out there, they're excited.
yeah, we had picked, when we sat down for the OICs, we based it on, their performance and how we decided who we'd put out there. And they were pretty much, 3 of them have been in charge quite a bit this summer, and they've done a good job, so we did a good choice on selecting the 3 that we've had.
Good.
And one of them was in charge the other day when we had all that rain, and he did a very good job of coordinating, getting the street shut down, everything like that.
Did you guys use the Humvee?
No, we didn't.
No.
I was gonna go into that in departmental update anyway, so, but, how we reacted to that, but, no, we have a lot of great candidates, and, when it comes down to it, it's gonna be pretty razor thin, the margin in some of these areas.
This can have an effect on who our DEA officers are and everything, right?
It could. I think that since there's no opening for sergeant, that even if that officer was to take the test and participate, I think he would elect to stay in DEA until a sergeant's position came open.
So he would forego corporal?
Right, he still gets the same stipend, or the same amount.
The DEA is the same as a specialty,
It's
okay.
an investigator position.
So what we're looking for is to get 3 corporals on the street.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
I'll let you keep rolling, chief. New business and departmental updates.
Departmental updates, let's talk about the rain. Levy 37 held. If this event would have happened 5 years ago, we would have had
Been
massive
flooding.
flood. It'd probably been comparable to 86.
Was that
Wow.
bad? I mean, that's
Really?
Highland Park, and I was
Right.
shocked.
86,
Yeah.
that was huge.
I wasn't here.
Oh.
There's,
You'd almost look like the Des Plaines River was in our yard, for crying out loud.
and what's different right now is that they talk about like the different, the flood stage levels. Well, since the hydrology's all changed with the implementation of the levee and the removal of the 2 dams north, things have all changed along there now. So as a result, Prospect Heights and Mount Prospect had very little flooding on the east side of town. Most of our problems were on the west side. We had localized flooding in all the normal spots, the sloughs.
Slow, right.
And in various other spots, like on the west, the other big area.
West of Rand.
West of Rand, up
Three
there off
streets.
Stratford.
Oh, yeah, that area has always
Phelps.
had some problem.
Those are all
Yeah.
flooded out.
Right. And our OIC at the time, Mark LaFont, did an outstanding job of working with Public Works. Matter of fact, was the new superintendent's only second day in the job when this happened. And we were doing basically rolling shutdowns. You know, as soon as we got water in one area, you know, we had officers there, had PW there to set up barricades and to shut down the roads, and you were moving right from there to the next situation, and I think there's like 4 or 5 areas that we had to shut down.
Yeah, 83 was one of them, that was shut down for a day and a half.
No
Right.
kidding.
Yeah.
From Willow to Camp McDonald, we had
And
to
that,
shut down.
in the typical spot.
Yep, right
Yeah.
there.
And the same thing with Willow,
Yeah,
or
but-
Thomas, or whatever we call it.
Yeah, Willow, that was by the slough, that was
Right.
shut down just until this weekend, so it was shut down
Yeah.
for like 4 or 5 days.
Additionally, the new superintendent for public works that took Jim O'Neill's place is Mark Roscoe. He's a Prospect Heights resident who had previously served on the zoning board, and comes to us from Buffalo Grove, where he worked in the PW department there. Just for your information.
You guys bring in pumps or anything like that, or any temporary?
Didn't need any pumps. You know, unfortunately, the event was, we got a lot of rain in a very short period of time. And other than, I think that there was a private, a homeowner that we helped out with pumps.
Over on Phelps, we brought the 6-inch pump over there.
Right, that was the only pumping that the city really did. Mount Prospect had their additional pumps set up off River Road, and they pumped probably for about half a day, maybe a full day. The issue that we did have, interestingly enough, was that as the levee is designed, the water backs up into the airport, into the low areas of the airport.
That I saw.
And the airport historically never really flooded. Well, not only does the airport flood, but the water moves into the parking lot of the Ramada Inn, New Ramada. And it was actually in danger of having a pretty serious event there. And we were able to work with Public Works to get some sandbags over there and to start taking action. And I believe that the water it came up to the curb, you know, like 5 feet from the door.
I saw it, yeah.
And pretty much stopped at the curb line, but there's no way for that water, there's storm drains that empty into the displays. But when the displays are so high, there's no place for that water to go.
Was there, is this just a consequence of levy 37 that was overlooked? Or did they anticipate that there could be a problem
Probably by
there?
design.
I think it was by design that they wrote off that whole area.
Well, it's one thing to write the airport off, it's another thing to write off the business next to it, you know?
Well, it's the Ramada, it's all the businesses along the frontage there, Palatine frontage going west. You know, McDonald's would be affected, Jimmy
Dunkin'.
John's, Dunkin' Donuts.
The
The
library.
library, the car rental places, but that would all, the water would be diverted that way as opposed to letting it come back underneath the bridge and into the multifamily areas.
Yeah, they were monitoring it, the Corps of Engineers, whether to, you know, close the gates, the big floodgates on Milwaukee, but it never got to that point. So we were
It was game
anticipated,
time.
ready to go.
Yeah,
But
I
it
can
never,
imagine.
never reached that point.
We were actually coordinating with Wheeling. Wheeling had a serious event, their Fox Point trailer park completely flooded,
Yeah.
and they had to evacuate people out of there. And we were coordinating with them in the event that we had to close the floodgate and shut down Milwaukee north and southbound at Palatine. And fortunately, we didn't have to do it, but we had a plan in place, and we were getting ready to engage that plan. The other new business, Prospect Heights is number 38 on the 50 safest cities in Illinois with populations over 5,000.
No kidding.
Yes.
We made it.
Anything
made
around
the
your higher on the
list.
list?
Almost every, with the exception of like your Barringtons and Invernesses and you know, none of our neighbors made the list. Moving forward, as far as a crime update, we've been having issues with gypsy type crime.
Read that.
We've had several attempts where basically they have a way of targeting elderly folk, and they'll try to do a distraction where somebody pulls them aside and they'll come up with a ruse where it's like, either they have a tree, they're working in the neighbor's property, and there's a tree that needs to come down, and they need to come back and look at that tree, and while they're in the back,
They're
in the
in the front
backyard,
door.
somebody goes in the front door.
Yep.
There's been several different variations of that, including like folks posing as like utility workers, you know, and trying to distract the homeowner while the other accomplices can go in. And generally, these criminals go right to the bedrooms, and they hit the dressers, and they're looking for jewelry and cash. One victim they hit for $20,000.
Saw that. That was the day that much laying around.
It's more common than you think. So we're going to be doing a massive kind of public education.
I mean, we have a fair amount of gypsies in the city, don't we?
Well, what happens is that you have crews that go around, and generally the people that are from that area don't do the crimes in that area. They go other areas. And we do have a pretty good line on a suspect vehicle, and we actually ran into some that were staying at a local hotel that investigations is looking into right now. But after a few years of not having much activity along those lines, it's starting to creep up.
You guys gonna put something in the little local flyer?
We will do more than put something in the local flyer. We'll put something on the website. We'll put something in the newsletter, and we'll put out some public safety bulletins. That's the idea right now. We've also we're about a third of the way through the outreach season, and I'd like to turn it over to my assistant Stephanie Comboy to kind of give you an update on what's going on with that.
Hi, so far we have 60 kids registered. Well, so far, we officially have 60 kids registered. And our last two trips, we've had 45 kids. And I anticipate our last two are gonna be our bigger groups. Everything's run very smoothly. Kids have all been really good. Our volunteers that have helped have been phenomenal. We have new volunteers that have come into the program this year, and they are bonded very well with the kids. I've had great help from our officers that have also bonded with the kids. So our first one, I think I told you about with the Government Day earlier. We did Government Day and brought the Park District in this year, who had set up great games for them and giveaways. And last week, actually, we were meant to go to Camp Duncan, which is team obstacle course building, and we were flooded out. So we changed gears pretty quick and tried a pancake breakfast at IHOP, and then took them to Ranhurst Cinemas to see Despicable Me 3.
Oh, nice.
So it worked out really well.
How did you guys arrange 45 kids inside the IHOP?
They were very accommodating. They were lots of pancakes, got passed around, bacon, eggs. We had about 3 servers to us. They gave us the entire, I don't even know what you'd really call it, a side room, a back room, and felt bad for the 10 o'clock crew that was trying to enjoy some Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity. But they were good. They were really good in there, though. Next week, we have Brookfield Zoo coming up, and we're putting together, we want to take them to see the new attraction, the Dinosaurs and Dragons, so they can have something a little different there. And then our last one that everyone's, we have about 10 officers signed up for already, for Wrigley Field and the Lake
Sure,
Michigan
isn't
cruise.
that amazing?
You guys doing a cruise too?
We are. It's called the Science is Fun Cruise along Lake Michigan. And it'll talk about the ecosystems in Lake Michigan and what makes them different as opposed to like going up to the chain. And the problems that when the boats don't get washed correctly, what it's bringing into each environment. They'll
What's the
go
date on that one?
August 8th.
Oh, you want to go, Joe?
Like to go.
Joe's going to volunteer.
Actually, I'd be more interested in the cruise than the Wrigley these days. Let's see. Oh, it's a Tuesday, huh?
Yeah.
I'm actually in town.
I'm gonna go through the locks and down the river. So they'll get a bonus cruise in that.
Stuff, you want to talk about National Night Out as well?
Yes, the Park District and the Fire Department and PD have been working on ideas for National Night Out. We currently have, actually, because of DC, we have the Windy City Bulls, a rep from there coming. We'll have Animal Quest, which is a traveling petting zoo that will be there this year with our dogs, the comfort dogs. Be doing the FD is going to do one of their scenarios again. I believe we held the canine there again. And PH Kids Care may be coming in to help pass out food. Nothing But Cakes is on board with us this year.
Nice.
We're going to also still be busing everyone in from the east side and have the bus going again with free swimming, so we can include everybody in town to come together as a community to look out for one another, as it should be, and the whole point of National Night Out.
Do you have like a charter coach bus?
Park District buses, I believe we used last year.
That's correct. And the National Night Out is actually designed for law enforcement to engage the community. And it's more like kind of breaking down barriers but we've been working with, since the beginning, since we started doing this, we've been working with the Park District, and then the Fire District has jumped on board as well. And it's a lot of fun. It's basically, it's kind of a big picnic, at the Park District, where they open up the pool, and then we have some displays set up, and, and we do some interactive things. And we'd like to have you all stop by
What day is that?
That's
August 1st.
August 1st,
August.
and it'd be at the Park District.
I think it's 5 to 8.
Yeah.
5 to 8.
Yeah, I'm going to be in New Orleans.
Well,
And that's all I have for my update.
okay. Are we good for August 30th as of right now, commissioners?
Yes, we are.
Joe?
Indeed.
All right. Leave that as is for right now. And I will make a motion to adjourn.
And I second that wholeheartedly.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We are done.